We've got our good friends at Hampson's Haulage in. They're taking the Site Bank and the mini screen to the show. But I've just got here and there's a bit of a kerfuffle. It's a tighter fit on the truck than we were expecting. I'll show you what I mean. Welcome back to episode 68. I'm Gavin, Spitfire Engineering, and this week the Caribbean Trommel is really starting to take shape.
50-ton digging bucket job all done. So this was finished off on Friday. I finished welding it up, and then Stuart has painted it. So yeah, new floor, new sides, new teeth bolted on, new side cutters bolted on, new wear parts, I suppose, in between the teeth, and then a nice paint job to finish it off. So yeah, the paint always finishes these buckets off really nicely. Coming through into the workshop, I'm working in this bay on the ring gear, yeah, the chain end of this trommel drum for the Cayman Islands Trommel. So at the moment, I'm just sorting out the internal back plates. That stops the material spewing back out the back, and then the channels sort of slotting through that, so it helps us line everything up. That's what I'm working on at the minute. Take you through next door. Steve is currently working on the front end of that. So we've got the main sort of beefed up section. This is what the fifth wheel runs on, so that has been ground flat with any welds. That just keeps the trommel drum, because we have them at a slight angle, so to keep the material going forwards and downwards, there is a slight angle. But so we have a fifth wheel which just rolls at the front as the trommel rolls around like that. So that's how that works. That's been welded on. Steve is currently welding on tacking on the template, so that we can again line up the trommel drum with the channels a lot easier. So Steve's doing that. I'll take you next door. Steve's just always currently talking Rob through some of the drawings. Rob is working on the fines conveyor for this Cayman Islands Trommel. So we've got 2 middle lengths, 2 tail ends, and then 2 head ends. All the accessories to go with. So there are the bearing adjusters, there's the leg sliders, there are the clamping strips, all that sort of fun stuff, greedy boards. Rob's working on that. Next door, we've got Connor. He is working on the legs for the the conveyor that Rob has previously fabricated in previous video, I'm pretty sure.
I'm in this bay here. I'm currently making the oversized conveyor. So you can see I've got 2 completed sections for 1 conveyor. I'm working on the next bit.
So they're the legs for that job. Once these legs are done, Connor is then going to go onto the legs for the conveyor that Rob's currently working on, the fines conveyor. There's a lot going on, so if I get what I'm saying wrong, please forgive me. Walking through our nice new walkway here. This has been a change from how it previously was, still yet to be fully sorted. We've got Stuart and Ashley putting on a screen box deck, so the shaker deck, part of an E21C. So Stuart is currently driving it in on the forklift. They will lower it down, get it on the roster mounts. Yeah, pretty simple task, to be honest. This is the oversized conveyor that I was just on about previously that Rob has fabricated and Connor is welding up the legs for now. So oversized, that is anything over the size of the mesh. So within the trommel, I think this one's having a 10mm mesh, so anything 11mm and above, or 10.5 and above, will be going out the end of the trommel onto this conveyor and stockpiled up or put in a bin, however this company will operate. The fines conveyor, that is what we call the material that goes through the mesh. So that is the conveyor Rob is currently working on. That is the finer material out of the 2. In-feed conveyor, that is the top conveyor, that is the in-feed for the trommel. So the names do have quite literal meanings. They're not just random made up things. So Raptor for the trommel is our brand name for it. Doesn't mean anything particularly for the type of trommel. It's just our Spitfire trommel. However, the conveyor names, they are what they say on the tin. Stuart is over there. He is currently painting the IBC stands for the National Construction Company. So I think we've got 8 of them in at the minute. We've got Site Bank ready to be painted as well. So this is going the Oxford Blue skip paint, so hard wearing, really easy to apply, really durable. So yeah, Stuart's going to paint the door and the body of this today. And Sean is in tomorrow. He's going to be wiring up the E21C, which I'll show you, and this as well. So yeah, we'll let us dry overnight and then it'll be okay for Sean to come in and just finish off in the morning. This is the E21C that's going to PlantworX on Friday. So it's currently Monday afternoon. I don't know what time it is. Just gone 3. So yeah, 3 o'clock Monday afternoon. This is the E21C going to PlantworX. It's all done Spitfire side. So all we've got is Sean, the electrician, coming tomorrow. He's going to wire up the control box. So that is wiring to the vibrating feeder motor, vibrating motor there, and the conveyor motor just over there. So yeah, Stuart and Ashley have stickered this up. They have finished assembling it. So the screen box deck is actually on now as well. Chutes are on. So yeah, this will be a good one to get out on Friday. We're going to try and leave it inside, probably in the little workshop next door, as long as we can this week. Just because of where we are, it does get quite dusty, and the less cleaning that the team have to do on the first day of the show, the better. More people they can get chatting to, the better the machine looks. Yeah, really happy how it actually turned out. Cracking paint job as always. Cracking good, not cracking as in the paint is cracking. Yeah, coming through the workshop now. Sparks are flying. We've got Rob just finishing off the feet for the fines conveyor. So 30mm nuts, all of our adjustable feet, we use 30mm unless we know they need to go bigger. Very strong, solid, plenty of adjustment on them. So yeah, Rob's finishing that off now, and then he's going onto the head drums for all 3 of the conveyors there. Feeder hopper, the fines and the oversize, just so that we can get any of them sent off to be lagged when they need to be. So we normally have a 1 to 2 week lead time. If you step forward a little, Adam. Actually, come behind you. There we go. Yeah, 1 to 2 week lead time on them, so we want to get them sent out as early as we can just to make sure that timings work out okay. Over here, we've got Connor, who is now doing the legs for the oversized conveyor. No, sorry, fines conveyor. The oversized conveyor legs are just there. Oh, this is quite cool. Yeah, so that's the oversized legs just there. The fines conveyor is what Connor is prepping now. So you just make sure it's clean off all the mill scale. So that is formed during the forming process of the steel, just like a layer of crap essentially on the outside, iron oxide, a lot of it. Just yeah, cleaning that off gives you a lot better weld, better penetration. Just over here we've got Steve, who is prepping again to do the welding. This is what I was on this morning. So this is the ring gear. So he's checked this with a roll of the chain that we use, and then is now fabricating or welding it all up once it's been fabricated. So yeah, that is another little snapshot of everything that's going on in the workshop right now. I think that's pretty much it. And Colin, very interested, we haven't mentioned this before. Colin, well I don't think we have, he is starting the machining process for the next Trommel. So this is, I don't know what we're calling this, it's a 3012 Raptor. I'll have to speak to Gavin and work out what we're calling it. But there is a big block of 250mm nylon here. 250mm OD, outer diameter. Hopefully Adam can't hear the music in the background here. I think he's slowly making his way to the radio. So we make our own wheels in-house. So this, I don't know what grade nylon this is. But say, it's 250mm. This is going to get turned down. I can't remember what's off the top of my head. But yeah, all 5 wheels for the Trommel are being cut now. And then Cole will begin the machining process side of it very soon.
So Archie's just mentioned the 3012 Trommel that they're building. Now, we haven't mentioned it on the computer because it's nothing too special, but now he's brought it up, we'll just have a look at it. So we've got a 3012 Trommel. It's a 2015 design. It's exactly the same model design-wise as the one that's going to the Cayman Islands. The only difference is it's not got conveyors, and it's a little bit smaller because of the metre 200 diameter drum. It's 3 metres long, like the name says. All the gubbins internally, everything is the same as what you went through the other week. The difference here is you've got bunker panels, they're all fixed, and then because they're fixed, you've got forklift pockets here, so it can be moved around when it gets to site. We've got some prerequisites here for brushes if the customer ever chooses to have them. The only real major changes to this one that aren't changes in the grand scheme of things, just customer specifics, is they wanted a bigger hopper at the back, so this is a 3 metre hopper opposed to a 2.5 like we normally have on a Trommel this size, and they wanted it green. So it's nothing to press them. That is it, really. It's nothing too special, like I say, but you know what you're looking at now.
So, we've got a banner. The guys over at Catava, however you say it, have sent us a banner. So we rang them up the other week and said, we've got one of your machines, as they know because they've come to film with us. We've got one of their banners next to the plasma table itself, which Adam will insert a clip of with it sort of in the background. But we thought this would be quite a good way of showing our suppliers, any brands or companies we work with. It'd be nice to sort of have them involved within the stores room. So going forward, we're going to hopefully fill this up with a few more. So any of our local suppliers, if you watch this, feel free to send Adam an email. We'll put his email here. So yeah, we'll organise getting something put up. Yeah, hopefully this will fill up very soon. So Stuart is coming behind, I think, with a forklift to take this out. This is the secret wash trommel. So it's been painted now. We've done something different on this just because we need to get it done, painted quick. It doesn't need to be absolutely perfect just for this proof of concept. We've done this trommel drum blue, which say we don't normally do before. Normally all our trommel drums are etched black. So I quite like this, to be honest. Very different. We rolled this entire drum in-house. So this is all cut from one sheet of steel, and then these sort of punch plate square holes, well I think they're 5mm to be honest, these square holes in the mesh just been bolted in. So yeah, leave your thoughts down in the comments about whether you like the blue drum or not. I think it's quite cool. It looks smart. I think we'll stick with the black one for the big drums because it's a bit of contrast, but that is pretty cool.
Just a little quick one from me before we watch the rest of the video. I've shown my face on camera before. This isn't a new thing. For those of you that haven't seen me, just to let you know, I film and edit all the videos that we put out on YouTube, the weekly episodes, the special episodes. I'm actually editing like the episode right now as we speak, in fairness. But I just wanted to say a little something. There's a lot of you that watch the videos that are not subscribed. So please, 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 I'm begging you, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me and Gav. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But without further ado, enjoy the rest of the video.
These parts here are for the Cayman Islands Trommel. This is for one of the conveyors. Stuart is pulling these out of the workshop now, ready to get painted. So this is going blue, the majority of this. So yeah, we'll get through into the paint room. I am currently by the brake press, which is where Rob just was, and he'll be returning to in a minute. So he is in the process currently of folding all of the parts for the Cayman Islands Trommel infeed hopper. So the conveyor part of that, so we call it a whole infeed hopper, but we've got the infeed side of it, which is the channel. It's got the conveyor belt on it, the motor, the actual conveyor itself, and then with the hopper, which is the hopper. Just a big storage unit that then the conveyor pulls from, essentially. So Rob is folding the remaining parts for the conveyor side of it. He's then going to go onto the hopper side of it. Connor will be fabricating the conveyor. Rob will be fabricating the hopper alongside each other. So then they will come together at the end and then mount it to each other and make sure it all fits up okay. We try and do it like this, so we don't have singular items or projects within the workshop that take 3 times as long, but there's 7 projects going on at once or 7 tasks going on at once. So for example, Connor and Rob have both been doing the conveyors for the Cayman Islands Trommel. Connor was doing the legs, Rob was doing the framework. So the reason that was because if Rob was doing one of them and Connor was doing this, for instance, Rob would still be working on those conveyors and we wouldn't have anything to paint. Whereas now, because they've both hit it, the lads in the paint side, they've got 2 conveyors ready to paint. They've got 3 or 2 sets of legs, 3 legs ready to paint. And then it won't be too long again, probably a couple more days, until they've got another thing. So rather than waiting for multiple weeks to then get drip fed stuff, we can just smash something out and then again and again and again. So that's the way we're doing it in the workshop at the minute. It seems to be working. So we've tried different ways to sort of organise a workshop in terms of how we do our projects, but this seems to be working at the minute. So Rob's got not long left on this. He'll be on the in-feed hopper side of it. Probably get a time lapse for that, Adam. I'll speak to Rob, get him to let you know. If he doesn't, we can blame Rob for this, for not letting Adam know. So if there's no time lapse next, Rob's fault, blame Rob. What? What do you want to do?
You don't have wings for you to sort of. Small drum though.
Come. So this is the Cayman Islands Trommel drum. Steve's got it all tacked up, ready to go. So the drum rings are fully welded. So this is the front 5th wheel running plate. So the 5th wheel runs along this. The back section, this is for the ring gear, or this is the ring gear that the chain runs on. So we've got 4 lengths of channel running from from either one of these welded up rings. And then on top of the channel, on the outside, we've got the bolt-on or the weld-on plates that the meshes bolt onto. So we've got this on the rollers now. So this is now able to move. So Steve can weld it in whatever position he wants without having to move the whole machine or move the whole part through the whole workshop. Makes it a lot easier. We've done it like this previously. We've done it on the workshop floor previously. We've done it on truss. We've done it no end of ways, and this is a pretty good way of doing it. It makes it a one-person job to weld a whole trommel drum, and it speeds it up no end. So yeah, Steve's got a fair bit of welding ahead of him. Probably get a time lapse on this if you get a camera, Adam. And you just saw the time lapse of Rob, so he did do that in the end, which is very good. Yeah, nice bit of welding. A few more parts to go on once it's had a little bit of welding done to it. Yeah, got this, and then rolling the meshes. That'll be the fun bit next. So yeah, looking good. So, coming through the work in progress stores room, if I put my head in through the door, we've got a little hatch on here now, so we can see Stuart in there. He is currently painting the conveyor. So you've seen him take the panels out, and he is in progress, so in the process of painting the parts for that conveyor. So we get Adam to get some PPE on and go get some clips in there after we're done this. Yeah, it's looking good, Spitfire blue. Just a very quick one for you. Adam does try his very best to cut these out, and when the pre-watch gets done, so when Andrew and Gav watch these videos before you guys see it, they do try their best to make sure that customer names don't get mentioned. So this is just in case a customer hears their name and they are, we don't want this company to know that we're getting this machine. So they've got a competitive advantage. Some companies just don't like their name being out there in terms of on our social media. That's fine, we totally get that. We do make people aware when they're buying machines from us that we do film and stuff. So as a rule of thumb, we don't mention the company names. So the Cayman Island project, obviously there's a company associated with that, which the lads in our workshop and say throughout the company, we call it another name. So sometimes when we're talking on camera, the words just slip out your mouth and you say the customer name, like I'm about to. And Adam will put a little bleeper over my mouth with the words customer name or wrong name over my mouth, and then you won't know about it. So he does try to cut it out, but sometimes if it's in the middle of a load of talking and it was a day or so after we filmed it and we can't refilm it because stuff has changed, that's what that'll be for. So yeah, that is a little problem we have in the yard, because say we have it under one name and then we have to remember the second name for these videos. This is the pallet of folded parts for the conveyor, for the infeed hopper that Rob has folded. So everything that Connor needs is on this pallet. The channels are up here, all marked out. So I've marked and centre dotted these. Jamie's got the mag drill on site at the minute, so we probably need to look into get the second one, to be fair, for times like this, but it's not very often that we do get this. So yeah, all marked out, ready for Connor to drill tomorrow when he's back from college. I'll take it this way and show you what else Rob has folded. So he's done the hopper, as you've seen on the time lapse. So to be fair, I'll see if he might talk. I'll see if he wants to talk.
So I've been folding the hopper for. This is the last panel for the hopper. This is just one of the cover plates. Was it defector plate for the hopper? So this is actually the last panel to fold. There's 2 more folds left in this. Then over here, there's a pallet with all the folded stuff that's done already. That pallet is just stuff that needs to be welded to other stuff. And then this stuff standing up here is everything else I've folded already. So the panel that's on the brake press now is this one. Well, not this one specifically, but the other one. Yeah, that's it.
It's currently 10 to 12 on Wednesday. You're about to see some clips about which involves 2 customers having a look at this machine. So this is our standard E21C. So yeah, customers were in. Georgina and George were speaking to them in the office prior to this video, sort of running them through the different options. I think they are very interested in a larger machine. Some of the features that they were I think Ashley's going to drive past us here. No, he's not. Some of the features they were very impressed with was the noise. So because this is electric, 100% electric, it is very quiet. So I'm going to turn it on now and carry on talking to the camera. Yeah, so I don't know if you can actually hear that at all. You probably can a little bit, but that is normal talking volume. Pretty good, I think. So they were very impressed with it. They're very happy. They love the fact that we're British manufacturers, so we design, build, install all from our base here in Brixworth. So yeah, they are some of the key features they liked about this. Now they're interested in a bigger machine, so this won't do for them, we don't think. They've got similar capacity machine now, but they want to grow. So Georgina will be sending them some more information about other machines that they can buy from us. But that is all very good stuff. Coming through into the workshop now, into the assembly area, we have got the PlantworX E21C and the PlantworX Site Bank in here in the dry. So with these machines, if you don't use them, because there is a mild steel mesh, these mesh on here are mild steel. If you don't use them, they will start getting rusty. So obviously if you use them day in, day out, the material will clean them off, but we don't want this to be going orange for the show. So we're leaving it inside as much as we can. These are being collected at 6:15 to 6:30 a.m. on Friday morning. And very exciting, just here, this is the first painted part to start being assembled for the Cayman Islands Trommel. So this is the oversized conveyor. So this will be sticking out the front of the trommel. And then, yeah, Jamie and Ashley, I believe, are in the process of assembling this. So yeah, conveyor we are making moves on. I'll take you through to the workshop to show you some more of the Cayman Islands Trommel. So I've got Rob over here. He is currently welding on the mounts for the hopper, infeed hopper guard. So this is a bolt-on part that goes on the side of the infeed hopper. I'm going to get in his way now, I think. Hi Rob. So yeah, welding this up, get this pallet done, get it out of his welding bay. Just here next door, we've got Connor, who is welding on the feet plate for the infeed hopper conveyor part. So you see all of these mag drilled holes here. These are where the bearings will be sat, or the rollers that go across. So yeah, welding on the feet plates now. And then we've got Steve just over here, who is finishing off welding for this trommel drum. So I think this is actually his last bit of weld for this. This is his last part to fabricate or weld on. And then it is a case of rolling the meshes. And very exciting after that, we'll probably get some footage of Steve setting up and fabricating the frame. So prepping all the parts and getting all the material ready to get the frame together. So that'd be good. Stuart is painting today mainly for the Cayman Islands Trommel. He's done this coat of grey this morning. We're going to get these out after lunch, so in about an hour or hour and a half's time after the actual break itself. If you hold that, I'm going to have to go turn the music off. There we go. Little setback, oh well, music is now off. So this is all of the grey that is required for both of the main conveyor legs. So this is the fines and oversized conveyor legs, as well as the greedy boards and back panels and feet for the oversized conveyor. So this is the conveyor that Jamie and Ashley are assembling now. So this is going to come out of this workshop, out of the spray shop, and into the little workshop next door, where Stuart is clearing some space for it. And then after lunch, we'll get the rest of the blue stuff for the fines conveyor, which will be painted in here, dried, ready for tomorrow. And then that can come out tomorrow morning, rinse and repeat. And then I think, so that'll be, what day is it? It's Wednesday today, Thursday. So we'll probably be able to get both the conveyors and the drum painted this week, ready for next week, where we'll hopefully be able to get the infeed hopper and conveyor painted. And then at the end of the week, / start of the week after, hopefully the frame as well. So we're making moves, it's going well. Yeah, that is you up to date on everything in the workshop.
So company update from me is that we are doing a lot of things at the moment. I am looking at some more CVs. So I've got people who we're looking at their CVs for service engineers. We had a service engineer go a couple of months ago, and we're taking our time to find the right person because it's a really important role to us. So yeah, we're going through those CVs at the moment. Got a couple of other vacancies which you will find on Indeed. So we're looking for a very highly skilled weld fabricator and also another engineering operative. So if you're interested in our business, in joining our team, have a look on Indeed and you'll find us. You'll find all our pay rates. So even if you're just being nosy, you can find out on there. What else is going on? We've had a customer in today, a new potential customer I should say, because we haven't done the deal yet, but George has been showing them around one of our E21Cs, but I think they actually want a bit of a bigger screen. As you know, we do all sorts of screen sizes and capacity, so we're quoting them something like the MIDI screen, which is the E21C and a hopper.
So from previous footage you would have seen Archie explaining this while I was working on it. This is what it looks like now. So we've got the sides, well, we've got it all tacked together. This is probably what I was working on earlier, one of the sides. So it's all tacked together. What I've got to do now is just unclamp it, square it, clamp it back down, and then put some welds on it to hold it. And then what I'm going to do is lie it down on the trestles on this face so I can get the right angle to weld on, and then the same for the other side. And then this is pretty much done.
So this is Steve's drum, or the Cayman Island drum that Steve has fabricated, fully done. So fully fabricated, or fully done fabrication side at least. So everything's on here now. All that's left is us forming the meshes that go on there, and then the end panels, bolting it up and then getting it painted. That is all that's left on this. So I'll take you over to what Steve's doing now. So this is some of the framework. These are some of the longer beams that Steve has marked up. So it's fully marked up and centre dotted. However, we've had a bit of an issue in the workshop. So long story short, one of the drill bits, one of the 14mm mag drill bits was blunt, and no one told anyone about that until Connor needed to use it. He then went to use it, It was blunt. He had to use the other one, and right before the end of his last holes, it snapped. So he managed to get away with using another drill bit. But for this, we really do need the 14mm drill bit. And so obviously that happened this morning. So we've spoken to our consumable supplier, Alex at CML. He is a very great guy. He gets all our stuff here next day, quite literally next day. There's been times where I've rang him up in the morning and we've had stuff in the afternoon. So we can highly, highly recommend Alex. So yeah, slight dilemma in the workshop. Steve's got all this marked up, ready for tomorrow. The new mag drill bits, we've ordered 2 long and 2 short 14mm mag drill bits, and they'll be arriving before 10:30 tomorrow morning. So Steve's doing some other bits and bobs in a minute once he's back from helping someone else. And when they arrive, he can crack back on with these. Over here, we've got George, who is currently preparing some of the steel for the archways. So there are, I think this is 100 by 100 box section. Yeah, what's the 100 by 100 box section? I think it's 5mm thick maybe. So this is what we're doing for the archways. We've got one that goes over the front of the trommel, and then 2 that go over the back. And these are a lot of the sort of top frame support, bit of the guarding, and then they are also what we use to mount the brushes. So we spec pretty much all our trommels with the option to have a brush. So we have the brush attachment sort of on there already. So if a customer at a later date decides they want a brush, we can quite easily retrofit one. So yeah, that's everything here. Just over here, we've got Connor. So his parts are over here. I'll just point you over here. Connor's parts are over here. This is the conveyor side of the infeed, fully fabricated. I'll take you over here, if I don't walk into stuff. And Connor laugh at me. And Connor is about to start welding the rollers for the infeed hopper conveyor. So these are the drums. We've got 10 of these, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 of these, and then a return roller. So Connor's about to start welding these up. Colin's already machined the shafts and cut what we call the donuts. That's the part that goes between the shaft and the outer roller shell. So yeah, get Connor on these. So we've done these tomorrow morning, hopefully, sort of mid-morning-ish. And then, after that, we're going on to the next part of the Cayman Islands Trommel.
Okay, Thursday afternoon. Apologies I haven't been on camera much this week. Lots of stuff going on. Interesting meeting today. We're joining forces with another company to build some special projects, which I'll tell you more about that as it develops. Really early days at the minute. Quite exciting times. So let's get you up to date where we are in the workshop. So Workshop George has been putting these frames together today. These are what the Cayman Island Trommel is going to be sat, the infeed is going to be sat on. So he's been putting them together today up here. Steve has been next door. Here he is. Steve's putting together the frame for this trommel. I think you've already seen the drum this week, possibly already seen the infeed this week. So that, and also we've got some conveyors done for it as well. So this is really starting to take shape now. Doesn't look much, all in bits, but when it all gets put together, it'll all make sense. So this is the frame that's going to go underneath the trommel, and then the trommel drum and the infeed will be mounted on this frame. I think this is upside down at the minute because we've got holes in the corners where the legs all bolt underneath. So Steve's putting this frame together at the minute. George is also working with Steve to do bits and bobs on the infeed, the hoops that mount the infeed onto. So we're starting to come together on that now. Some of the stuff has already been painted, as you've already seen. All getting starting to be put together, and then it'll all start to come together probably in the next couple of weeks and the next couple of episodes. You should start seeing it all put together. Now this is going to be hydraulic driven, so we've got a separate hydraulic power pack. And then what we'll do is we'll plumb it all up, and because it is going abroad to the Cayman Islands, we'll have it all built up here at Brixworth, and we'll get it all running so you can see it all working exactly what it's going to look like. And then it's all going to get deconstructed because this has got to go in 2 shipping containers, I think it is. It's got to go in a couple of shipping containers so we can get it over to the Caribbean. So good project this. That's the sides for the in-feed. They're ready to go together once all the rest of this has been done. I think Connor's working on that at the minute. Let's have a look and see what they're doing down here. Is that for the Cayman Islands Trommel, Connor? What's this going to be?
These are the legs of the frame.
These are the legs of the frame. So the frame I just showed you a minute ago, Connor's doing the legs that are going to go underneath. And then there's a long conveyor that goes in between the legs, isn't there, and all underneath. So yeah, Connor's doing that. So Connor's doing the legs, Steve's doing the frame to go on top, George is doing the mounts for the in-feed. The in-feed has been made, which I've just showed you. Let's have a look in the final assembly and see where we're doing down there. We'll go down the new walkway to the final assembly. New walkway for final assembly this way. Cables on the floor. What we're going to do, we're going to put a frame over here so that all the cables can go over the top. So there's not a trip hazard. That's work in progress. So we're working on that. But yeah, nice clear walkway because we want fabrication being done in that area, assembly done in this area, but we needed a safe route through to the rest of the workshop so people aren't coming through the welding bays. So welding, safe access, assembly down here. So this is the chassis being built up for the oversized conveyor for the Cayman Islands Trommels. As you can see, this is now going to be our proper assembly area. So we've got space in here so we can work on multiple projects at the same time. This is a conveyor for that. Ash is just putting the finishing touches on this mini screen. This is the one that's going to the show next week. So by the time you've seen this, the show will have already been and gone. If you're planning on coming to the show and you came, nice to meet you. So just finishing off the last few bits to do on this. The site bank was in here this morning. Everything for the show has been put in the site bank. That's now outside waiting for the HIAB to come in tomorrow because we've got a HIAB coming in tomorrow morning, Friday morning, just gone 6, to load this machine up and the site bank to take to the showground at Newark. I'm going to follow it up to make sure they get put in the right place, and I'll try and get some footage while we're there so you can see the showground before all the stands get properly set up. So I think they're still being set up. Our stand will be anyway. And I'll try and get some footage tomorrow what it looks like. So this is the in-feed for the Cayman Islands Trommel. You can see it all. This is ready to go in the paint shop to be painted now. Obviously we've got the outlet end, this end. This is going to sit on top of the in-feed conveyor itself. It's mounted on the four legs underneath. Got lifting eyes inside so we can lift it in. And then on top of this, there'll be some greedy boards put around the top just to give us a little bit more capacity in there. They'll probably be sent separate, the greedy boards will, just to keep the height down to get it in the container. I think the plan is for the container, the trommel drum, the in-feed and the hopper will be as one unit. The legs underneath will come off and the 2 conveyors will come off as well, and that's sort of how it will get broke down for transport, and obviously the power pack as well. The diesel engine driven hydraulic power pack, that will go as a separate unit. So we're going to try and get this built up and finished in the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to try and get the hydraulics all piped up, get it all running, do our final tests and all that sort of stuff here, and then what we'll do is we'll take all the hydraulic pipes off, cap the ends of the hoses and all that sort of stuff, coil them all up nice, put everything in the container, so when we get to the Cayman Islands to assemble it, everything's labelled up, knowing where it all should be, and make life easy for ourselves really. Friday morning, I'm in the yard nice and early. We've got our good friends at Hampson's Haulage in. They're taking the site bank and the mini screen to the show. But I've just got here and there's a bit of a kerfuffle. It's a tighter fit on the truck than we were expecting. I'll show you what I mean. So you think you'd have enough room in here to put a mini screen, but apparently not. They'd considered taking the chutes off, but they've got a bit of space behind the site bank. Just there where Mikey stood. and then we're going to just slip it back a little bit so this can fit in front. But these have been kept inside all week because with the weather as it's been recently, you could end up with some rain spots on it, and then the dust kicks up and you just end up with it covered in dust. So I've kept these inside, so fingers crossed at the showground we have some nice steady weather all weekend and we don't get there on Tuesday and they're all covered in dust. So let's just see how we got on. Like I say, I'm just going to shut that back, get this mini screen on, and then the plan is Mikey's going to take it up there. I'm going to follow him up and go to the stand. I'm going to tell him where to position it all, help him unload it, and if he's lucky I might buy him a breakfast. Just driving through the show now. This big dozer turned up in front. Not 100% certain where we have got to go, to be honest, but it's all being set up now around where we are. So the truck is somewhere behind. It's not actually here yet because I've left early just to come and suss the job out. So I'm going to go and find the stand and work out how we're going to lay it all out. So arrived on site. I like it here. A lot more relaxed than last year at RWM. If you remember in a previous episode, I lost my at RWM last year because of the organisation. But I like it here. Everybody's friendly. Everybody lets you crack on with stuff. There's no over rules and regulations. Everybody's pretty chill and everybody's getting on with what they need to get on with. So let me show you where our stand is. Doesn't look much at the minute, but we'll come back next week and you'll see what I mean. So this is our surroundings around here, and this here is our stand. We are, I've lost my way now, where are we? We're here, I think. So we're between this flag, that flag, that flag, and that flag there. So this is our stand. It's a 9x9 stand. Luckily we're the first ones here in this area, because I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to back the truck in here, a high-ab, and unload it from there. So we just need to work out where stuff's going to go, try and get a bit of perspective of where the back of the stand's likely to be. So I'm just going to get my head around that. Probably speak to Andrea on FaceTime or something just to get my head around it. But yeah, this is going to be our home for the show next week. Mike is here at the show. You know where you're going? I'll jump in. So Mikey's just backing in on the next door stand. I think that'll do you, Mikey. That'll do. So 2 machines. Got one going over there, one coming here. We've got all the gazebo and bits and bobs, the Spitfire buzzer game, the gazebo, all the banners, all the flags, is all in the site bank. So the idea is we're going to get these dropped off here now, and then on Tuesday we're going to come early because the gazebo's going at the back of the stand here, flags, all sorts. There was a question about the flag bases are supposed to have water in. Where was the water located on site? Boom, just literally there right next to my car, so that's handy. So we're going to get this unloaded now and we'll catch up in a bit. Go in just here, Mikey. So we've decided that that is the best place for that. We are right on the boundary this way, and we're right on the boundary pretty much coming that way, but there is nobody here. There's nobody behind us. Don't think there's anybody that side, and this is a walkway, so we can go right to the boundary. So we're going to put the site bank here, and the gazebo that's in there can go at the back next week. So we'll just spin this round. So both bits of kit dropped off on the show stand. Kept this one tight in the corner. All looking good. The plan was to have this around the other way, but I've turned it around this way so people walking up to it can see that it's a deck screen. It's more obvious what it is. Plenty of space at the back for the gazebo there, and banners and flags and cheerleaders and acrobats, stilt walkers, mythical creatures, all going to be here on Tuesday. Okay, so this week's fun fact. I think Adam's running out of ideas on this. I'm not sure this is a particularly good fun fact, if I'm honest, Adam. Anyway, tell us in the comments what you think about this one. So, Angel of the North. Do we know what the Angel of the North is? If you go up the A1 and you get towards Scotland, there's a big metal sculpture, I suppose you would say, on the side of the A1 called the Angel of the North. Well, that was unveiled in 1998. Now, it's designed to withstand 100 miles per hour winds. What happens if it goes above 100 miles an hour? Does anybody know? Anyway, the wings are deliberately angled at 3.5 degrees forwards, giving the illusion it is embracing rather than resisting. What does that mean? I have no idea what that means. Anyway, it was designed by a guy called Anthony Gormley, like I say, unveiled in 1998, weighs 200 tons and is the size of a 5-storey building. It is quite impressive, but I actually went past this the other day and they've put it up and then they planted some trees between the Angel of the North and the A1. And now the trees are growing up that when you're next to it, you can't actually see it anymore. You can see it from a distance, but when you're driving past it, you can't actually see it anymore. So yeah, that's this week's fun fact. Angel of the North weighs 200 tons from 1998, and it is embracing and not resisting things. So that's it for this week. Come back next week because it's show week next week. So we'll get you some footage of the PlantworX show. Everybody here is really excited to get up there and speak to customers. I don't know if anybody from the YouTube world is coming to see us. I'm there on Tuesday, as you'll find out next week. And as far as I know, there's some other YouTubers going on Tuesday. So we'll catch you next week.
Rolling.
Adam's an expert editor, especially when it comes to me.
Tell people about your headphones.
They allow me to play music and podcasts and books wirelessly. Technology.
Give us a dance. 3, 2, 1.